Hey, welcome to this week's edition of J2 Fit Podcast. This is Mike Dewar here.
Mike Barbell.
And Beulah Stevens.
Stevens. Once again, we are J2 Fit, Journey to Fitness, Human Performance, Training, Nutrition, the Lifestyle brand. So today we're going to go over how do you become J2 Fit Jacked, right? So we're going to start you off with kind of the meaning of J2 Fit Jacked. Go from there about the prereqs that you need to have to become J2 Fit Jacked. And then today in the first part series, we're going to go over the training aspect and all the various things that go into that. And the second edition we'll go into, which will be next week, we'll go over J2 Fit Jacked nutrition and then the mentality to be J2 Fit Jacked. So with that being said, we're going to give two definitions, both male and female perspectives, on what it takes to be J2 Fit Jacked. So we're going to start off with Miss Beulah Stevens over here. Beulah,
yeah.
You know, you compete with us, you train with us, you do bicep curls with us.
Sweet.
What do you think is, what's your definition of the female version of J2 Fit Jacked? What does it take? What does it do?
I would say, let's say J2 Fit Jacked. We live in New York City, right? Going up and down the subways suck. Let's say you're a mother and you have to like bring up your stroller and your crying baby up the stairs, right? And you have to do this every day. I would call that jacked. You know, I would call someone who has to walk all over the city in crutches on one leg jacked.
Why don't you hold your leg up here?
Boom. I would say.
And go to some muscle ups.
Boom. I would say pretty much anything where you have to just kind of suck it up and go for it, where there's just no excuses. If you're overweight, you definitely have to get the desire to lose weight. But what does that mean? What is jacked? What's the terminology? I would say it's a big spectrum, you know, of what it is that you do. Like if, let's say you're a waiter and you have trouble just carrying and serving food and beer and drinks all day and you don't have the upper body strength for it. And let's say 6 months later, after having that job, after being a server, then all of a sudden you can carry like 6 or 7 beer mugs in your hand with no problem. I would call that jacked. So it's just everyday normal stuff. Like you're starting from zero, you're having a difficult time, and then your body adapts to it, and then you just start growing. So that's my definition. It could be anything, really.
Okay. Hey, let's scoot over so the viewers can see you.
Hey, you know.
Oh, she's in there.
Kind of the lady behind the microphone mask.
Hey, I'm in there.
I was thinking off of what she said, you know, that everyday thing, like to me, in a way, jacked is someone that makes something that they have to do or that they want to do look really easy. And it's easy through their training. Like that same waiter having to hold up that cart, you know, he looks good. Well, I can see him to hold it up with tons of plates and tons of food on it, and he's walking around taking it from table to table with no problem. Everyone's like, wow, look at his arm. But you know what? He trained himself to do this.
Oh,
you know?
man.
That's pretty jacked to me.
Jacked boy.
All right.
What's your definition?
I'm gonna take this to left field here.
Take it.
So my definition of jacked, right, is I don't want to. Very few do I try to say somebody's jacked, right? Because I think that you almost want to put it on a pedestal sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody walks around and says, I want to be jacked. I see Flex Magazine. I see Muscle and Health. You know, what my definition of jacked is somebody that not only is the best. If you put them in a pool or in a room of 100 people, they were in the top 10 percentile, whatever it was, right? Whatever they trained for, right? But also they kind of like they look well-rounded. They look the part, right? So if they're for instance, if it's Barbeau, right? I expect to see like pretty low body fat.
Striations.
I expect to have the jacked mentality, which we'll go into later. I expect them to have the jacked attributes of strength, right? So, cool, you're jacked, you're shredded, but you can't, you know, pick up 2 times your body weight in a deadlift, maybe 3. Are you jacked? No, you're just skinny. You know, that's my viewpoint. You know, for me, power, strength, and then the mindset is the biggest thing that I like to look for when, you know, somebody's jacked. Then obviously body composition, but
yeah, it goes to like making a difference between a guy who does abs all day and his abs look great, but they're good for nothing else.
Exactly, the function. Yeah, we try to take jacked to the function. I look at like Adrian Peterson, right?
Yeah.
Jacked. I look at like who's a good example of a jacked person, you think?
I would say Dana Lynn Bailey. I don't know, she's a female bodybuilder and she's definitely shredded to like a mofo. I would say, heck, I was watching there's wheelchair bodybuilders out there.
Yeah.
There's people that can't use their legs and they're like doing muscle ups and doing American flag holds and all this stuff. So I would just say, Jack, for me, it's all your mentality. It's not necessarily physical. Like you can go overseas and just see this really humongous dude. You would think he's overweight, but yet he can pull a truck with his teeth. That's jacked.
Oh,
you know? So I don't know. It's whatever you think.
Being the best at what you train for.
Yeah.
Or like
pretty much.
training to be the best, I guess, you know, that jack mentality. So cool.
You're that old lady in the bingo hall just stamping bingo and slapping other people in the mouth. That's jacked.
Rattling tables.
Falling out of their chair.
There you
knocking
go.
people's teeth out.
Pretty much.
Literally.
If you can reset your
Well, it's pretty
pacemaker,
easy because they're
I
like
don't
fake, so you fall out easy.
And if you
Done.
scare them, they might gasp and
done. You know who's jacked? I would say Joan Rivers. You know what I mean? That woman went out.
Too soon?
Fucking no, not too soon. I was saying she went out like a G. Honestly,
Yeah, she
right?
did,
80 years old, double fingers. I'm like, are you serious? Did you see that picture of her? Jacked in my eyes. Rest in peace, Miss
There you
Joan
go.
Rivers.
The best, just
Done.
there you go.
There you have it.
Well, I guess it's a perfect segue then to talk about what are the benefits, right? Because not a lot of people are like, oh, that's not me, I don't want to do that, or maybe I want to do that, and maybe some of them are on the tipping point, and they're like, hey, you know, I'm always training, but I don't want to be that jacked guy or that jacked girl. We're not saying like, you know, bodybuilding jack, we're saying the mentality of like, I'm going to train hard and be the best that I can.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits and then the practical applications that you can put into life for female or male? What do you guys think? Like, give me your top, like, 2 or 3 benefits, you know, of any aspect of your life.
I'd say number one is your confidence.
Yeah.
That mindset in the first place, when you have that mindset that you're going to be quote unquote jacked, you know, like it takes it to the next level in everything else you do. I've seen it from people who have had breakups and they started training and like months later they feel like they're on top of the road and they can talk to anyone and it helps their business, it helps like, you know, everything else in life because they're confident.
There you go.
It's true. Yeah.
Sometimes you need to be broken open. You know what I mean? Or you just burn down the house.
She beat me to it.
And then something else, you know, something else appears in its place. Like I have a phoenix tattooed on my back, and it means that pretty much. You're always, just like that.
Is that on the lower back now, or?
No, it's between my motherfucking traps. No, so it's
you
like.
You can't see him once he shrugs, but.
It's like the resurrection, you know. It's like you shed your old skin and you become something new. You know. I used to be a caterpillar that ate my ass off, and I'm a pretty butterfly now.
You came out of there.
Yeah.
She was flying earlier on these rings back
There you go.
She's got one leg.
I may turn into a bat next, but who knows?
Got one. Where are we at? We're talking about the benefits of being jacked. Definitely, I totally agree with the mentality. Like, even if you get humbled and you miss a PR or you get your ass kicked by a workout, right? It's something cool to like kind of walk out of there just as well as if you kick the workouts, but to walk out of there and be like, man, like I got my ass kicked, but I'm still standing. You know, like, and and the application I think is that the mental mindset, you can attack that same way with anything in your life, right? Like if you can get fortified and you know, put the foundation of iron into your steady diet of just life, you know, you're going to be able to go much further without it, I personally feel.
Well, yeah, those days turn from, you know, you come into the gym, you think you're going to do something, it doesn't quite work out the way you thought about it, but since you've created this mentality in your head, you've learned that life lesson every time of perseverance and getting back up. And you know what? What happens the rest of your day, it's not messed up. You can figure out something else to do in your day because your mindset is still, I can do this, I can do better. And it's that confidence that carries over all the time.
I say it's patience and maturity and just about growing up. You're understanding that there's different processes. There's that balance. You need to fail. You need to succeed. And understand that it is one coin and not just one half. You know? So I think it's just being patient with yourself and just, you know, learning. Every day you learn something. Let's say you want to go in there and you hit the weights and it just fucks you up. But it's all right though. That's okay. Like, understand that that's okay. And this is a process. It's a part of what you do. You know, so I feel like it's the mental training is the biggest thing. You know.
And then let's be honest, like, it is pretty awesome walking around looking like a diesel gorilla as you run a 5K and somebody walks up to you. Wait, somebody come up to us last time we were running. He goes, what are you guys doing? I go, hey, what does it look like? I'm running and I'm like dying here.
Yikes.
And they turn to us, he turns to us and goes, well, you guys don't look like runners. And I go, I guess that's a compliment. I'm like, thanks.
At first thought, you think it's a backhand because I saw the guy's face
I'm
too.
like, I can outrun you, and I'm like,
thanks.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you know, it's that. It's also the jacked of like if you train. Listen, if you're training to be a runner, right, and then you want to look like that, like go get it. Like then you're a jacked runner,
there you go.
right? If you train to be a power lifter and you don't care about running, but you want to be have the highest triple, and you do, and you look like that, you're a jacked power lifter. So the idea is be jacked at whatever you do. There's not one steady definition of a jack, and most people think like bodybuilder. They think like. You know, what's that? Kai Green. They go, oh, Kai Green, that's jacked.
No,
like,
not at all.
He's jacked for his spec.
Yeah. So like you think about, because I've like, how many of you have trained models where they're not allowed to have like a lot of muscle definition? They have to look slender. They have to look like dancers, or let's say.
That's what he tells me his excuses. I'm like, you should lift heavy. He goes, no, I can't balloon up.
Good gravy. All right, whatever. Like I've definitely trained some women that couldn't have that aesthetic kind of muscle definition, but as far as their pictures and their beauty and how they just speak to the camera or how they just project what it is that they're passionate about, I feel that's jacked as well.
All right, so we went over now all of our definitions of what it takes to be J2Fit jacked. All right, we went over the benefits, applications, went a little bit into like the misunderstandings and misconceptions of what it is and how people try to apply it to one general thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of go into today's first segment, which is how do you become J2Fit jacked? Right, whatever it is, via training. Right, so the prereqs to do this. Right? We want to look at the prereqs of A, your training status.
Right.
B, your nutritional status, which nutrition will be next week. And then C, your mentality that is necessary for this, which will also be next week, but we'll still hit on all three now and then get in depth with those two. So, what do you guys think is a training status?
Number one.
Well,
get your ass off the couch and figure out what you want to do.
Well, I remember like when I wanted to like start training with you guys, and all of a sudden I had to meet you in a basement with like all black sweats on, and we were listening to Metallica, and we were there for like 3 hours.
You don't talk about Fight Club.
Sorry, nothing. All right, so that wasn't part of it. Anyway, but that's how I got inducted.
I wasn't there.
No. Anywho.
We all wearing masks.
So that was day one for me. It was weird, and there was a lot of lubricant. But I don't know, Mike, what do you think about? No? Zoom out?
Damn
it!
Extensions yesterday, I'm sore. We're coming back. We're coming back!
Alright, so we just left off on the definitions of being J2Fit jacked. Obviously, then we talked about what else? So the benefits and practical applications, and then some of the misunderstandings and misconceptions that kind of go along with what people think is jacked. So now we're going to lead into today's segment about training and how you can become J2Fit jacked via training. So the intro is the prereqs of what you need to be jacked. Right? The big prereqs, we're talking about training, status, nutritional status, and then mentality status. And nutrition and mentality will be next week, so make sure you tune in for that. But we'll still hit on a couple basic tenets. So what do you guys think first and foremost is the training background or status you need to have to embark on the J2Fit jacked?
Well, I don't know, I guess when I like first met you guys, I'm like, hey, I want to work out, and then it was like some undisclosed location in like a basement somewhere, and I'm wearing all black, and there's like Metallica blasting, and I'm doing push-ups for hours, so that was like day one for me.
People wearing clothes.
And there were like paddles. Yeah, absolutely. There's lubrication and like zero water, which I'm still pissed about. But that was, day one. And both. And that's how I got to a 300-pound deadlift.
Are you sure that's this business we're talking about?
It was something. It was one of the two. You get jacked by any means necessary.
Another J2 business.
There you have it.
J2 nasty.
I mean, what do you think about the protocols, Mike? Like, what is a good training regime? Like, does it matter what you do exactly, or is it something?
If somebody was to come off the street and be like, okay, I'm ready to get J2Fit jacked, what is your question to like, obviously I'd want to know what they've been doing before they came to me.
Yeah, like what do you like?
Or what are you looking for?
Yeah.
What have you been doing, period, in terms of the gym, in terms of fitness, in terms of your body? What do you think about when it comes to your body? Are we talking about, have you been in a weight room? Have you been to a gym? Have you been in a yoga studio? Or do you play sports? Do you like fitness? Like, what is your mindset? I want to know what somebody's thinking in terms of
not mentality.
Body.
Not mentality.
I know. But you can't to start training.
Physical attributes.
Where have you been?
Yeah. What's your history?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Like, really, what I'm getting at is like, J2Fit jacked. Anybody can do it. mentality's huge. We'll get on that. But you gotta have some basics of training, whether it's body weight, whether it's playing sports, whether it's you've never done anything, but you now have researched it somewhat, where you're not like one day, tomorrow somebody's like, oh, I saw you guys shooting podcasts in your gym and I want to train with you. Be like, have you ever thought about training before, or did you just see us talking and now you decided to go barking it? Like, I would say like, hey, that's cool. I want you to, go home and get back to me next week. And to see if you're really serious about it, which then plays into the next. We'll skip over nutrition. Yeah. But the sense of mentality is rolling right now. Yeah.
It's a big part.
Number one mentality rule, if you're going to embark on becoming jacked, J2 Fit meatball fashion, what is it?
I would say there needs to be a system of some sort. Like I like to tell people, all right, you need to be on time. This is a partnership. It's not just me being like some sort of drill sergeant telling you what to do. Like it's a partnership. I need you to do X, Y, Z when you're out of the gym or not around me. And when you're in front of me, it's going to be a class. Every time we meet, it's just going to be something that you need to learn. So it's not necessarily me barking orders and you just like kind of just doing these movements. Like you have to learn, so you can teach other people to fish in a way. So you want to be an example or you want to be an inspiration for other people. So that's kind of the system or the program that I tell everybody. So whether they want to do a weight training or they just want to do Zumba or they're a swimmer or some sort, there's always some kind of structure as far as like what I expect from them.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
When I see somebody for the first time, I'm actually, if I'm going to dig into like your mindset, I want to know what level are they going to be like, I'm going to come here and I'm going to work out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to trust my trainer, the person who's helping me out, the person who's guiding me. So I want to know where they're headed. So the same thing like you just said, like, meet with me now, see you see me training, you see me talk to someone about fitness, come back in a few days and tell me this is really what you want to do.
Yeah, I've never been the one to like pressure someone like, oh, let's get started tomorrow, sweet, sail. It's like, no, like if you like think about it, because it's a big change. It's going to take up most of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely, like that, the one thing that too I look for is that, I tell Mike this all the time, from a business sense too, it's just like, when I get somebody and they walk in the door, listen, I'm going to guide you, and I'm going to be like your liaison to the crazy side of shit, but I want a little baby shark, right? I want somebody that's hungry.
Baby shark.
Yeah, like I want a little baby shark I can like bottle up and like carry around with me and mold them and shake them and feed them. Right, that's my job as like a bigger shark to help you out, but they still need to be a shark. Right, like they have the instinct somewhere down below, right? So they are upset about something or they want something. There's comfort, whatever it is. We gotta find that, and then that's where I want them to come because then I know they're willing to fight for something. Right, I want somebody to fight for change and not think that I'm like this savior that's gonna hand it out on a silver platter. Right, like, money doesn't buy change. Right, like. Action takes change, and that's what I'm looking for in mentality.
You want them to smell blood.
Yeah, when it comes down to like the mindset too, I like to ask right away. Also, it may seem like it's not as important, but I like to see what is their day-to-day life. Like what exactly do you do for a living? What do you like? What's your family like? Because I have different people from different backgrounds. Who their level of like training is very different. Like I have a guy who's a parent and he wants to get J2 Fit jacked because he just likes what we do. He wants to get jacked, and from that I've seen him come to me and tell me that he wants to get jacked for his kids. He wants to. That's why he wants to be able to play with his kid and hang out with them and show them stuff, and that's big.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So that's the mentality. That will be a good one next week. We'll get deep in that.
All right.
The last one it's really another one is nutrition. That's listen, everybody eats like shit at points, but it's not an excuse to not change. What? Yeah, I mean, people eat like shit. There's a lot of like different ideas out there, right? If somebody at least has a basic concept of something, right? But when they come and see me, I want them to like take all that stupid tabloids that they read, all those little like, he said, she said, this diet worked for them. Like, I want you to take that, put it somewhere, file it away, and then just listen to our voice. Listen to my voice, listen to Mike's voice. Like, we're not here to count calories all the time. Like, we'll make you do it. But you gotta just realize that we're trying to make you think about like, eating is to feed your performance, right? I want you to eat to fuel your training, not train because you eat like shit.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of getting that role reversal.
Yeah.
You know, so that one we'll get into next week, but just kind of think of that: eat to feed the beast, and to train like that. Versus, oh shit, I ate horrible this weekend. I'm gonna go run 10 miles, and then 2 weeks later, I still look like shit, and I got broken ankles because I overran.
Wow.
Right? It happens all the time.
I hear you.
Like you see it all the time, and I'm like, why are you running? Oh, because I had a horrible week and I feel fat. I'm like, let's stop freaking eating like a
You stop eating like an asshole.
Yeah. Or like let's train, and then I'll show you why eating like an asshole doesn't work because you feel like
you feel like crap. You can't think. Yeah, cheese in a can, guys, is not part of the 4 food groups or something, or 8 or whatever the hell. I learned that the hard way.
Spam.
Done.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get into the last part of this, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Training to get jacked. The basic tenements of what we use at J2 Fit, as well as very sound strength and conditioning programming. So we're going to go over, I firmly believe in using Olympic powerlifts. I firmly believe in using barbell training, aka the strength powerlifting, any variation of that. We're going to talk real quick about hypertrophy training, specifically like bodybuilding, what most people think about when they think about working out. And then a big old wide open area, we'll call it conditioning, whether it's anaerobic without oxygen or aerobic with oxygen, and how that really has to be dictated by your goals and how they can beautifully mesh. So for instance, if I'm having a marathoner, right, training for marathon at peak training, I wouldn't be necessarily worried about how much they can one arm back squat. It doesn't really mesh beautifully together. Now I might have to think about that at certain points of the year because I can increase things, but that's where we're going with this. So let's go at the top. We'll start with explosive power training. You go there, and then Mike, this is he's US.
Explosive
US
power training. What if I say you need all of it, right?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're gonna hit all. Like we think each program should have all of this.
All right. I don't know. Like as far as like power cleans and snatches, or just using kettlebells,
snatches,
or plyometrics, because all of them are explosive.
Anything that is worried about acceleration and velocity, right? So whether that's acceleration drills, speed drills, barbell speed, plyometrics. Why do people need to do that?
I would say, well, it depends on the goals again. Let's say you're a football player or basketball. I would say you need coordination. You need to understand like how you can navigate through space and just not fall over and bump into people. You need that. That's necessary. You need to be able to carry a certain amount of load over a prescribed amount of time, depending on what it is that you do. So I don't want to kind of like pick one because I can't pick one. Like all of it is necessary. And I say change it up. Let's say you've done like powerlifting, whatever, X amount of years, and you want to switch it up to O-lifting, or then you just want to switch it up to just isolation training. I say pick something that you like to do, and then once you grow out of it, then go to something else.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, Mike?
I say when it comes down to power training, number one thought is going to be performance, right?
Yeah.
So how am I going to get my training in terms of power, creating speed through movement and whatnot? How am I going to get it to, correlate with what I'm doing with my actual life, with my sport, with, like whatever my goal is, you know? Secondly, I think of creating lean mass. Whenever I think of power training, I need strong, lean muscle to move this weight properly, fast, right? If I don't have that, my body's going to learn to adapt and try to actually make that work.
Yeah.
And then you can think of size. Size will come. Strength is going to come. But most importantly, it's going to be how am I creating speed, and then it's going to create that lean mass, that stronger mass.
Yeah, I mean, and what are you talking about creating lean mass? Power training, fast twitch muscle fibers. So people, it's like this. You pick up a magazine. Oh my God, power cleans are awesome. Snatches are awesome. They make you ripped and lean and muscle tone. That's fast twitch muscle fibers. So those muscle fibers are extremely dormant, extremely stubborn unless they're attacked, right? When I say attacked, it doesn't mean do like a reverse curl with the barbell. It means drop the weight and move quickly until you gain the strength and power, and then you can get up to the big weight. So you need all of that. Okay, so barbell training, love it. Why, a lot of people think that they're gonna lift heavy and they're gonna get, you know, I hear it all the time. It's like 2014 and we still hear this shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get bulky. I don't want to get fat. Specifically as girls and some guys.
McFly. Yeah.
What is that? What's the deal with that?
I don't know. I think it's probably
You gotta speak up a little bit.
maybe it's like a social thing or a cultural thing. Like you don't want to have some sort of look.
That's the
thing. It's like I don't want to look like this. You know how many times people have I don't want to look like you.
What did Arnold say?
Bitch, what does that mean?
What did Arnold say to that guy on the beach?
To me, that is more of the
Somebody
media.
said to Arnold,
and what people
said, don't
see.
worry, you won't look like me.
There you
never
go.
will.
Yeah.
It's the media that basically shows you this all the time in magazines and
It's
photos.
the devil.
And it's okay if you understand what they're looking for. When they're looking for these skinny jeans and whatnot, when they're looking for models,
Yeah.
right? That's what they're looking for. But they portray it this way that young people start to see it and it goes on through generation and generation.
Yeah.
And then it trickles down to the next one and it takes time, but you have to teach people. It's okay to have body. It's okay to have a little bit more mass on you.
Well,
I think-
so let's say this. Even for people who want to be skinny, right?
Yeah.
When they tell me that, I say, then stop eating like that, like the way you do.
Yeah.
Stop drinking the way you do,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm gonna whip out science on you.
I thought you were going to whip out something else.
Strength,
Okay.
maximal strength training does not have the hypertrophic effect as what people think of 10 to 12, right? Hypertrophic effect means that the muscle fibers themselves are growing and they're expanding like a tree trunk,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Strength, high strength work like 1, 2, 3 reps does not do that as effective as 8, 9, 12, 15, right? But yet you see every woman, every skinnier guy in the gym doing that, thinking that that's going to keep them lean. No, what's going to keep you lean is the fact that you don't eat like shit and you train how you should be training, which is high intensity, lifting heavy weight, getting dense, lean muscle instead of balloon muscle, right? And that's because people move slow.
Yeah.
You're like a Colby beef cattle working out. Like that's what we're not looking for.
There
I'm
you
looking
have
for like a shredded ox.
Bruce Lee,
Yeah.
shredded like a mofo. He's 135 pounds.
What did he do? He was the bodyweight master, but he also was extremely strong for his size.
Absolutely.
You know, it wasn't all this like frills, like all this cable work, all this like sexy fly stuff. It was like a shitload of dips, shitload of push-ups.
Yeah.
He was doing bench presses. He was doing deadlifts.
Yeah.
He was fighting people.
He can kick someone's head clean the
So,
fuck off.
you know.
That's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I mean, it was that punch, man. He was like one inch punch.
No, I saw
Go
it.
look it up on YouTube. It's crazy.
And-
He's not doing all these goody two shoe like
Yeah.
workouts in the gym. He's
It's like
training
you're getting
insane.
busy. And the thing is, it's like certain people are starting to change the face of like what barbell training can do. Like let's say tennis. For years, no one saw anybody like Venus and Serena Williams. When these two came on the scene and they were embarrassing motherfuckers, what? They were like, okay, I need to get some glutes like her. I need to get some hamstrings like her. How's this female knocking this ball over 100 miles an hour and just embarrassing all these women?
Kettlebell
And
swings,
there you
hip
go.
thrusts,
There you go. But
heavy.
they were not playing.
Yeah.
When they showed up, they
Deadlifting.
were not playing.
That's what strength and power will do for you, right?
There you
So now we're rolling because we want to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We're gonna roll into hypertrophy, aka bodybuilding. You can go to any magazine, any store. You can go to any website,
Yeah.
any subpart trainer, and he will probably do the same moves that Arnold Schwarzenegger has documented back in the 70s. They're good. They're
Yeah.
great moves,
Yeah.
right? The volume training, it's great. Like I use it to bring up weak parts, like my shoulders. You know, like Arnold had a great, I guess, metaphor. He was saying that the bodybuilding is like an art form, right? Just like a sculptor puts clay. You know, he looks at it and he says, I need more clay here. I need more clay here. I want to fill this guy's quads out. I'm gonna put some down here. Well, the bodybuilder can't just add clay like that. His clay and his molding technique is the fact that he's gonna create that tree trunk growth in the muscle fibers through volume training. 8 to 12, 8 to 15 reps, a bunch of sets,
Yeah.
right? Getting that burn.
Just getting the blood in the
And,
muscles.
and it's an art form, and you slowly build it up. So if I look, you know, and I'm like, Mike, like your calves are real small.
Ain't that a bitch? Okay.
You know, I'm gonna make him
wish I
do
used
calf raises. I'd actually have him do power. Power works. They're great for calves.
Yeah.
But you know, like arms, like you think about it, also weak parts like chest. Like I have shoulder issues,
Yeah.
so I can't do a bunch of bench press. But if I want to balloon them up to help protect my shoulder, flies are great.
Let's
They're
get it.
lightweight, you know. So
I hear you.
that's how it works for me on that one.
Have you seen these calves?
Yeah. It's all right. Anyway, understand how your body works and how, because all these programs, it may work for someone, but it may not work for you.
Yep.
So you need to experiment with your body and understand how it works.
Yeah.
You know, so you need nutrition, you need cardiovascular training, you need some sort of strength training. You know, try it all.
Yeah.
Why not?
The last part then is conditioning. We have the strength part, which is all those three. The conditioning is the last part. Conditioning, we look at it as an umbrella term. Underneath it, I look at it as anaerobic, which means without oxygen. So you're thinking about like that feeling when you can't breathe and you feel like you're about to like throw up and your heart's right there.
When I was doing push-ups in that basement one time.
Yeah, you know, like where it's extremely.
Where were we?
Anyway, yeah.
The hydrogen in your body is breaking down and it's acidic.
Mhm.
You're having an acidic thing, so your body's reacting to that, right? You need to get there something. We call it like the darkness. You do your, you know, CrossFit's famous for doing all these wads that are just insane and it gets you feeling like blacking out. That's metabolic training, right?
Thanks. All right.
Then you have your aerobic training, right? Which
Intensity.
it still can have that same effect, but if from the science aspect, you have like a break point where your body can't exchange oxygen the way it's breathing. So right now I'm breathing air in, I'm using it and I'm expelling. If Mike was making me do a really hard workout right now and talk with you, I'd be requiring more oxygen than I'm actually taking in. Once we get to above that point, that's anaerobic, without oxygen. That has its own effects, right? That's great for body composition, great for certain sports.
Yeah.
And then you have your aerobic, which is at that break point or lower. So I could still be doing a really tough workout, you know, but I would just be dancing that line, and that has its great effects too.
There you go.
So, you know, I think it's finding, you know, I think most people here, like, they want to gain lean mass, right? So what do? They think, I got to run 5 miles with so many clients do this. So I'm like, you essentially are shitting away everything that we're trying to build right now.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm trying to build a sandcastle with all kinds of sand and you're just throwing water at it as I'm trying to keep it going. It's just diminishing.
Like you take track athletes.
I say gains.
You know, track athletes, they definitely have nice physiques, but they're not running like 6-7 miles. You know, they're sprinting a mile as fast as they can and they stop and recover. So it just depends. It depends if you're a MMA fighter or boxing. All that explosive work that doesn't necessarily need to take a long time, but you cover a lot of ground very quickly.
I would say if you're a triathlete, an endurance athlete, endurance meaning like 8-10 miles more on running, or if you're a high cyclist or a swimmer, like you don't really need to be doing that much mileage. You know, it just doesn't make sense to be doing that.
Poopy.
Yeah,
we're still on.
We're still going. So, sorry, my computer screen saved. So that's that, and we'll tune in more with that. So we're gonna wrap it up here because we're gonna keep that out of our gym because we have some clients coming.
Sweet.
But last one is the closing, and then the call to action. So, what do you think, people right now? What should they do with this information?
I say listen to it every single day. Mike?
Well, take from listening to the information and realize what's going on in your life with your body. What do you want to do with your body? Figure it out.
So,
and then choose something and then get some help.
So what he's saying is look at your goals. Like, what are your goals? Is your goal just to go to the gym and tell people to go to the gym? Because if so, Jade Fit Jack is not for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Like you can stand in the mirror naked listening to like All By Myself or just listen to this podcast.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, you could work out to that.
You could probably do this so naked look in the mirror. You'd still get that much invigoration.
There you go.
Whatever. So look at your goals. What do you want? Like, just like in any relationship or any point in life, you have to know what you want, or more importantly, what you don't want. Right? Narrow that down, and then you find your path. It's part of your journey. That's what we're doing. Your next thing is look at what results you've had. Right? Look at what you've been doing, and let's be real honest with this. Most of you guys have been doing what you're doing, and you're not getting results. You're not getting stronger. You're not getting leaner. You're not getting faster. Mentally, you're not happier, or maybe you are. Right? Find what you're doing with the actions, with the results. See what's working. See what's not. Tweak it like any plan. And then look at your regimen, your training regimen, and we'll talk about nutrition. And like Mike said, and just put it into action. Get a plan. Seek somebody who can help you out.
Yes. You know? Don't be crazy. Do not do the same thing over and over again looking for different results. Train insane. Not crazy, insane. Make a difference.
All right.
Like your life depended on it. Pick one day a week to do something you hate, that you're really bad at, and do it. Because I see so many people who love running, and they do it all the time, and then they're just stuck in a rut.
I'm bad at algebra.
Well,
Is that a different? Anyway.
You helped me edit these tapes and it's
That-
kind of math.
You're right. Yeah, that makes me cry. I don't know. Anyway.
All right.
That's what I
So yeah.
I love that.
Training programs online, whatever you got to do. Website. These guys. Cool. So make sure you follow us on our social media, Facebook, like us, and then YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, J2Fit. That's what it is.
Sweet potatoes.
So
So
talk next week.
tune in next week. Nutrition and mentality.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Do 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 do. All right. Let's
Muscle.